Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Everyday Vlogging with Rich Pasini. Today is January 3rd, 2019. Thank you for tuning in. I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the new subscribers who recently subscribed to my channel. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you like the content. I hope you come back for more. Anyway, I want to get into reseller news. I got quite a bit of windows open up. I want to expand on each topic for those who are new to my YouTube channel. I do not read everything verbatim. I will give you the URL. I'll tell you the company where I got the information from, and the rest is up to you if you want to expand a little more on it. You know, if you want to like to read, pick up where I left off. That's why I'll give you the information. That's why I'll give you the URL. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, here we have the first one. This is from TameBay, and the URL is www.tamebay.com. And the title is, this was published, let me just see the published date. I like to give you the published dates, folks, so you know it's not too old. This one came out yesterday. I'm sorry, I've been having a lot of problems with doing videos, as you know. This came out yesterday by Chris Dawson on January 2nd, 2019. It goes on to say the title is 7/10 sellers said they made more money on eBay. Kudos to them. I can't say that. Didn't work for me. But anyway, let's read a little more about this. This caught my attention because I have not made money on eBay like I thought, like I should. But anyway, it goes 7 out of 10 sellers said they made more money on eBay than Facebook or Gumtree, according to the eBay research from 2018. From a representative sample of people, eBay is where you realize that the highest prices for those unwanted items. Good to know at this time of the year when thousands of ungrateful listing the Christmas gifts they don't really want, or disposing of the old tech which has been replaced by newer, shinier models. Okay, it says via eBay have recruited Canadian comedian Catherine Ryan, who appeared on countless UK TV panel shows, including Dave's The Taskmaster, to the front of the campaign. I'm not going to play the video because, as you can see up here, I got a lot of windows open up. You could check it out for yourself. And then it goes on to say a little more here. It says, although to make more money on eBay messages clearly aimed at the consumers, it also is relevant to the business sellers. While we're constantly hearing that Amazon shifts more to merchandise and it is in the consumer marketplace of choice to buy, we also hear from the professional sellers that the margin are better on eBay, and greater margins or even more means more profit. I don't know about you guys out there. My sales have been flat. I mean, they flatlined. December was the worst month. I mean, I'm lucky I made 4 sales that day, 5 sales for that month, whatever. I don't know what it is. On one of my Facebook groups, somebody was saying that they had a good year. This is a retired person. I'm not going to mention the name right now, you know, who it is, but, you know, for whatever reasons, privacy reasons. And the person said they made $76,000 selling electronics and furniture. You know, I don't know. I mean, and this was within a year's time, according to the person that posted on the Facebook group. And I'm like, wow, pretty good. You know, $76,000. All right, now you might say, well, the cost of goods and everything else, but still, that's not bad. That's pretty decent. I would love to be doing something like that, but nowhere near that. Not even close. So, you know, for some people, some people selling on eBay is working, and for some people, they're hurting. You know, and I'm not here to be a chronic complainer, but you know, this one caught my attention when I heard that 7 out of 10 are doing good. I was like, wow, I wish I was one of the 7 out of 10 because I'm not. But anyway, I'm not going to expand too much in this title here, this topic. You guys know the URL. Check it out for yourself. Let me just close this window out here. I'll get that in a second. I'll get it when I come back to it. Yeah, you know the URL, and the story you're looking for is 7/10 sellers say they made more money on eBay, which is great. That's great. Kudos for them. I really wish them all the best. Okay, this one here. This is kind of like all over the place. I want to keep all the same companies together. So let's get back to this one here. Let's go back to TameBay again. This is another one on tamebay.com. You know the URL already. I gave it to you. Let me close this one right here out. Okay. All right. This one here is this topic is 20 most expensive eBay purchase for 2018. Top 20 most expensive purchase on eBay. And this was posted by Chris Dawson yesterday on January 2nd, 2019. They have the list here, but like I said again, I am not going to play the video because I got too many windows open up. And you guys could check it out if you get the chance. Let's see. I'll just read a little over here. It says with the baseball cards, comics, watches, cars, and and a lunch have all have in common. All have in common over the course of the past year. They're all numbered in the 20 most expensive eBay purchases of 2018. Some of the highest ticket items sold on eBay between 145K to more than 3 million. These top item investments range from everything from high-end timepieces to supercars, and some of the super pricey purchases include fine jewelry, automobiles, collectible sports memorabilia, and even a helicopter. How do you like that? You could buy your own helicopter. Okay, let's look it over here. Here it is. It says Lunch Warren Buffett. This was the most expensive one, 3 billion, right? That's $3,300,000. Patek Philippe Grand Complications watch was $535,000. A 2017 Lamborghini Aventador sold for $499,000. A 2018 Porsche 911, $470,000. A Mike Trout draft pick baseball card, $400,000. Wow. Lamborghini, another one, 2015, sold for $362,000. 2018 Ferrari, $339,000. 2017 488 Ferrari Spider, $329,000, and the list goes on. I'm not going to read them all. You could see them here. You could pause the camera if you'd like to read it, your video here, and you could read the rest of them here. And then it goes on a little more here. You could have your say, whatever. You could also check it out on eBay. I know it's 56 minutes long, or 56 seconds long, but I'm not going to go into it. Like I said again, I got too many windows opened up here. But that's nice. It's nice to see that there are people out there that have plenty of cash to buy these nice, expensive luxury items and stuff like that. And it's really nice. It really is nice. But it is what it is. Let's bump out of here. Here's one over here. This one here is from Road and Track. I'm going to give you the URL. It's www.roadandtrack.com. And the story was posted January, yes, it was yesterday, January 2nd, 2019. A Cadillac Eldorado shooting brake exists. Okay. And that's the reason enough to buy it. It may not be the best looking Eldorado ever built, but it's certainly the one of the rarest. You know what it looks like to me, folks? It looks like a hearse. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what it's used for. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, let's read the story a little bit here. It says a mid-70s, 1970s Cadillac Eldorado is already massive. But if you're the type that can never have too much consider this ultra obscure Eldorado shooting brake. I guess that's the name of it. Maybe I haven't heard of it. It's up for sale on eBay Motors right now, and you should buy it. Okay. It's an active hyperlink. I guess if you click it on, it'll take you to that site there, eBay site, and you can see what it's going for. I don't know. I'm not going to get too much in this here. Yeah, if you want to read the rest of this here, let's see. Well, just going at the bottom really quick, it says the car is currently listed on eBay with the buy it now price of $25,000. Not especially cheap for an oddly converted front-wheel drive Luxo barge, but considering the rarity and the outright coolness of this thing, we'd say it's not too outrageous of a price. Well, if you're into old cars like that, me, I no offense, but it's not for me. I'm not a Cadillac person. I'm not, even to this day, I'm not really too crazy about it. They're nice cars, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have other desires, and Cadillacs were okay. My dad, God rest his soul, he had a couple of Cadillacs back in the day, and they're nice. Maybe that's why, I'm not too crazy about Cadillacs, but they're nice cars. The new ones are okay. I mean, not my taste, but it's nice. But if you are a collector of, old cars like this here, and you got 25 grand to buy it now, you might want to add this one to your collection. All right, let's move right along. I gave you the URL, and let's get to the next one here. Oh, I'm sorry, this is another one. I skipped this from Tenbei. Okay, I missed this guy here. This one here, again, the URL. It says Amazon Fashion and Incubator Program for Chinese Sellers. This came out today by Chris Dawson, January 30, 2019. On Christmas Eve, while the Western world was shutting down for the holidays, Amazon Fashion launched to China to provide customized services for the Chinese fashion category sellers. The Amazon Fashion Project covers 5 categories: apparel, footwear, jewelry, watches, and bags. It combines Amazon's rich global fashion resources with local resources to assist sellers of different types and stages of development with customized services to help achieve global sales and to accelerate the Chinese fashion brands to the world stage. You know, folks, I don't want to get too much into this here. All right, I don't want to really delve into this, but I will say this. You know, I know it's probably been going on for quite some time, but it seems that, you know, when eBay and Amazon opened up the floodgates, I call it that, right, to, you know, international sellers. I'm not. I can't say for sure because you might say, well, it's a contradiction because you just said 7 out of 10 is saying they're doing good on eBay. But what I'm trying to say for the small sellers like myself, I sell some clothes, not much. I have much, you know, more to put up, but I don't think I'm going to go that route because it is getting to be clothes is a very competitive thing to sell. To be honest with you, I was also thinking I had a whole load of comics that I was thinking of putting up, and comic books today very hard sell too, as far as I'm concerned, unless you have the rare ones. It's a tough market. But when it comes to clothes and stuff like that, you know, it's a tough. It is. That's also tough. What I'm trying to say is, when I see these type of things like that, you know, and it is an, you know, eBay, Amazon, all these there. It is an open forum, and everybody all over the world is going to get involved with it and stuff. And I think as time goes on, this is my personal take on it. I think things are going to get, for some sellers, are going to get a lot worse than better. Okay, but that's my take on it. I am an optimist. I'm not a pessimist. I know it sounds like I'm speaking like a pessimist, but I mean, think for yourself what's going on when you start reading stuff like this here. You know, you let me know what you think. You know, share it if you would choose to do so. Anyway, I don't want to expand too much on that topic, but I think you know where I'm going with it. You decide for yourself. All right, let's move right along here now. Now I'm going to go. The next windows up here is, I think, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 windows. Okay, I'm going to expand along each topic, and I'm going to say the URL once and the company, and then the rest I'm just going to just keep going, moving right along, and then I want to close this video out, folks. So the first one is executives. This is, let me give you the URL. It's e-commerce bytes. It's www.ecommercebytes.com. And this story came out. If you ever want to see when it was published, you can just look on the top line. You could also look for the latest news here for January 3rd, 2019, but sometimes what you see up here is going to be, you know, within their site here, the website. Okay, so for that's right now, it's the latest news. But anyway, for all intents and purposes, this is came out January 2nd, 2019. It says eBay eBay. I should have said that. Executives open up about eBay problems and New Year's podcast. All right. It goes on to say, in the New Year's Day podcast, 2 top eBay executives opened up about some of the problems sellers faced on its marketplace in 2018, including technology glitches, well, I'll say, fraudulent returns, and unattainable pricing policy that it backed down after a seller's complaints. Okay. They also mentioned the feature gaps in the new eBay managed payments, offering a lack of progress on its structured data initiative. But the two managers reaffirmed the overall direction of the company. eBay will launch a new seller protections, and we're going to have that coming up. I think that's coming up here next, I think. Where is it over here? Yeah, reaffirmed that the new direction. eBay will launch seller protection in 2019. And while the company may fine-tune its policies and practice around returns, executives indicate that they were generally happy with the changes eBay made in 2018 to simplify and automate the returns process for buyers. Then it goes on to say here, those revelations and others came during the New Year's Day podcast featuring Bob Cuppins, Executive VP of Seller and Marketplace Operations, and Scott Cutler, Senior Vice President of the Americas. We pulled some of the more interesting excerpts in a 1-hour webcast that will go for crucial areas for eBay sellers. Stay tuned for more coverage on the issues raised during the hour-long session. For full content, you could click over here. You could listen to an active hyperlink. That'll take you to the podcast, and you can listen to that. I probably will listen to it. And then they got some things here, fine-tuning returns. They'll talk a little about it. They're going to expand on it. Seller protection, fraudulent returns. I'm just reading the highlighted ones. Let's see here. Technologies. Well, they talk about that one there. Promoted listings and so on and so forth. Managed payments. You can read. This is just way too much for me. I can't expand too much on this topic. But I encourage you guys out there, especially if you're an eBay seller, you may want to look into this here, folks. Okay, definitely check it out. Again, there's a lot of good information here. I love this site, e-commerce bites. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite ones. I get a lot of information from it, and I do like to share this information, especially if you're an eBay seller or Amazon or Etsy, because this website covers a lot of other e-commerce platforms as well. Okay, without expanding too much on that, let's move to the next one. Okay, man, we're just talking about that there. Here it is again. Now this one here came out, same thing, Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. eBay to launch new seller protections in 2019. It goes on to say eBay will launch new seller protections in 2019 in recognition of the fact that sellers face fraudulent returns of false claims by buyers. We already expanded a little on this here. Let's see here. You could probably read this one here because it's basically going to talk a little about what we just recapped on the first one. So you might want to check this out as well. All right. It is a different thing. It's another page, and you could look it up for yourself if you like. Okay. Not much to read. I always like to read the comments. I love to hear what other people say. You might look at this one here. Pretty funny stuff. eBay will do nothing. They will roll out some mutated version that will be bad for sellers. Okay. You got to read these here because some of them I like to. The reason why I chuckle when I look at this stuff is because, believe it or not, the stuff that's put out there from the comments from other sellers sometimes opens your eyes up to things that you never knew was going on or existed within eBay. There were certain glitches that were happening that may affected them in particular, the ones who were posting on there on the blog site, whatever, where it didn't affect me. In other words, the problems they were experiencing, I wasn't. The only thing I said in my other past videos, what really bothered me at one point, was the no views, and I did a video about that there. I got some traction on it. People were commenting me on my YouTube video I put out. Well, I don't know which one it is, but that's the only one I could basically attain that I had a problem with as far as with the eBay glitch. There are other issues though. As I was doing my videos, that I went along calling up the eBay tech support people, and they had confronted me and said, well, yes, we are going through certain certain situations with certain things. I know one of them was with the new payment processing. They was having some kind of updates or whatever, doing, I guess, installs, whatever they were doing there. I know they were talking about that one. Yes, they were aware of the no views. That issue was because they were updating the view calculator, whatever. I heard that a couple of times. Then I heard two stories where one seller, one eBay representative said it doesn't affect your sales. Another one said it did. So, I covered those type of topics in my other video. I don't know which one it is. You have to look. But anyway, let's not expand too much on this here. You can read this here. I'm not going to get much into this here because it's basically on the first page we just did. Okay. Okay, here's the next page here. It says eBay defense practices after blindsiding ardent supporter. This one came out, of course, January 2nd, 2019. It says eBay didn't have enough listings in the key categories to run up the holiday shopping season, a company executive said as he responded to one of the company's most ardent supporters who felt eBay had blindsided him in November and December. To the seller's dismay, sales of his t-shirts plummeted after eBay helped its rival, a platform called Teespring, to flood the marketplace during the holidays. Goes on to say here, eBay Vice President of Seller and Marketplace Operations, Bob Cuppins, defended the company's action in a podcast. You can see it's an active one. You can listen to it if you click it on. I believe that's going to take you to the podcast. On New Year's Day, where he answered the sellers' questions along with those from 9 other sellers. Goes on to say eBay, let me just move my mouse cursor here, sorry. It says eBay summarized the seller's questions as follow. I've been selling on eBay for a long time. I've had a bunch of great years. Recently, eBay let a large t-shirt seller onto eBay and they flooded the market. As a small seller, how can I compete with larger sellers who overwhelm the market with lots of listings? That's my problem. I can't compete with the big guys, That's probably a lot of sellers' problems, right? When you could say, when they buy from manufacturers, whatever, if you buy in large quantities, you will get a discount, depending on how much stuff you buy. That's why I can't do any overseas buying, because I don't have the capital to invest that amount of money into buying merchandise in the mass market. I can't buy mass merchandise like that from a manufacturer. But I'm just saying this is kind of like almost in relation to that. But it goes on to say here, Cuppen said eBay determined that its listings growth had not been sufficient to meet all the inventory needs of buyers it was trying to drive to the marketplace over the holiday shopping period. We looked at key categories. Fashion obviously is the key category, and said, wow, there's just not enough listings here. So we went out on purpose to try to add the listings to the marketplace. Now, did we overdo it to a little bit in the t-shirt category? I'd say probably. And in fact, we're going to look at how we can back that down in the very, very near term. But that said, we're always going to be looking. And it goes on to say over here, in fact, we're going to use the data from the holiday to understand better what listings results and what sales growth. Because if you're not growing sales, listings just become pollution and confusion. And small sellers may or not be able to compete with the large sellers. It stands to reason. It stands to reason. See, this is the thing, with eBay doing all these things here, adding all these different features and stuff. Like I'm looking down over here, promoted listings. I mean, I've heard from other sellers, there are some sellers, very few, that will praise promoted listings. And then I hear other sellers, they hate it. They don't like it. It doesn't do nothing for them, But, with eBay, what eBay should do is what worked in the past, leave it like that. What's that old saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The alliance they're breaking up, I don't know whose idea it was, with PayPal and eBay. The system was working. I love it. I hope I can still hold on to it right now. That's what I have used for my payment processing. I love PayPal. And, by them doing all these things, I know they're probably looking out for their company. It's a strategy. They got to strategize to try to keep the company, going. And I guess by making all these changes, it helps them. It, better make, lets them make better revenue, and it shows their investors and the stocks there, the stock market, that hey, we're doing all these changes to make the company better. And of course, we all know what that's all about. The better the company does, the better the investors make on money, right? So I understand all the change. I understand the mindset and the model and what they're doing here. But at the same time, I think it's hurting more than helping. I didn't want to get into it, really. I don't want to expand too much on that. Anyway, the URL. Let's bump out of here. It goes over here. Look at this one here now. This came out Tuesday, January 1st, 2019. Look at the title, folks. Is eBay search sending buyers away? I didn't get a chance to read these here because I get these Google alerts and I just pop them up here and I say, okay, I'll expand a little when I do the news. It goes on to say here, Dear Ina, probably a seller writing in. Dear Ina, eBay's best match search default was bad enough and worse that the search often ignores specific search terms. But eBay is now forcing even more control to limit what buyer sees. Okay? This is the stuff that bothers me when I read this. This is why I get very unhappy with eBay, and that's why I said they keep pulling stunts like this. I mean, I'm not no big time seller here, but I'm thinking of just shutting the doors and getting out of here altogether. The result is unhappy buyers the result is unhappy buyers and serious disparity between the sellers with similar items. Okay, it goes on to say here, while the following isn't new, it recently has become more predominant when executing a saved or a new search, and depending on the number of items the search would normally return, we remove some search results to show you the most relevant listings, and or you are subjected to eBay's implicit category navigation, where your original search category changes to whatever eBay decides is best for you, and even if it is not the most relevant category. See, I don't know. It's this is really crazy. It really is. I don't know what else to say, folks. And then it goes on to say over here, should you even notice this and manually override one limit or change the sort filter? It will often result in another limit just popping back up again. This can result in a seller's entire list of items not showing and the buyers not seeing the best deals or even what they're actually searching for. Not showing all the results per the enter search terms and then letting the user decide how to filter and sort is absurd. I don't know. I'm not going to expand too much. This is crazy. Here's how it ends. How eBay thinks any of this is okay is beyond me. Signed, outrageous. Longtime buyer and TRS seller. Well, to be honest with you, being a top-rate seller doesn't really mean anything to me anyway, as far as it's not doing anything to help me make sales. But then again, I don't have the greatest things to sell either, but that's not really, to me, it's not an honor to be a top-rated seller. Here's one guy right over here. I like to read some of the comments, but I can't read them all because, like I said, I want to go through the other windows. I have multiple eBay selling IDs. I have listed MAR Federal Digital Indicator. On one ID, it's 65 with free shipping. On another, was here with free shipping, and it said another ID, it's 65 with $7 shipping. Both IDs had the same exact wording in the category. The unit was with $7 shipping sold last night. The buyer was willing to pay $7 more for the same exact item. Both items were showing up in search. The only difference is the one ID has 58 feedback, and the other has almost 15,000. Don't figure. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. This is, when I read these topics and stuff like this here, this is what really upsets me. But it is what it is, folks. We're on their platform, like they say, you go with the flow or just, let it go. That's all you could do. There's nothing, what can you do? Unless you go do your own website there and try to sell on that. I don't know what to say. Let's bump out of here. Here's another one, another woozy. This one came out December 31st, 2018. And this deals with Etsy. It says, seller describes worst Christmas on Etsy for vintage. Dear Ina, I've been on Etsy since 2012, and this is the worst Xmas season I have ever experienced, including the first year I've worked to build my business on the platform. It says over here, after bills, and unless I make some sales that are not Xmas delivery, depending, I am left with $135 in my banking account as of December. Oh, join the club. In some cases, you probably got more in your bank account than others. I could tell you that much. This may be too personal. I apologize if it's an embarrassment, people, but I am not. This is a tragedy. Finally, an Etsy TV commercial with no mention whatsoever of antiques or vintage being unique. Flash emails, no vintage. Cash grabs everywhere, including raised rates, shipping commission. Etsy being paid before we are. Label subscriptions, levels, and the support, they said, will be payment based. And then it goes on to say here, for those outside the U.S. Who must charge shipping and include insurance and tracking are being discriminated against by showing lower in search. See, there's always a little trade-off. So you see how these companies do the little manipulations here? You do one thing and they take away. They give you one thing, then they take it away. I don't know. What's the future? What's the future? And is there a light at the end of the tunnel? We Vintage, all right, it says pay the same amount of money, and those being promoted would feature regularly, and disparity is becoming more and more ridiculous as the weeks and months, years go by. Signed, heartbroken and scared. Well, let me tell you something. If this is what you're doing for a living, and I know it sounds kind of crazy to say, but that's all you're left in your banking account. I don't know if you're doing this full time. You may want to consider getting a full-time job right away. Get that resume polished up and head out the door and start trying to get a job, a regular full-time 9-to-5 job. Even though a lot of people may not like that, it's probably not the best advice to give. But if push comes to shove and you need money, you're going to do what you got to do to survive. Believe me. All right, enough with that there. This already upset me looking at that anyway, but let's move right along. Let's see here. We did this one. I actually hit that one again. Let's see. Let's see here. This one here is how Amazon ads impacted holiday shopping. I'm not going to expand too much. This this came out January 2nd, 2019. It says many Amazon shoppers don't even notice the advertisers when shopping. The marketplace, according to the study Techometrics, The company believes it is due to the fact that Amazon is a store first compared to the other sites where ads are displayed. The study also found Amazon's free shipping and fast delivery are influencing shopping behavior. Techometrics, whatever, is a retail optimization platform and said its merchants customer account for over 2% of all sales Amazon. And then it goes on to say over here, it commissioned an online holiday exit survey of 500 Amazon shoppers in the days following Turkey 5, November 30th, December 3rd, as part of its Techometrics 2018 Amazon Advertising Holiday and Shopping Index report. Respondents weighted by age, region, and gender for the accurate representation of the U.S. population. I'm not going to expand too much on this here, folks. If you'd like to check it out and read the rest of it, you're more than welcome. You know the URL. Let's bump out of here. All right. This one came out January 1st, 2019. Canadian sellers face higher postage. New rules in the new year. Well, that's going to happen, folks. The Postal Service already said they're going to raise their rates, so that's no news surprise to me. Canadian Post will raise postage rates in January 2019. The rates were announced in June and were approved on December 6. December 6. Rates will rise for both letter mail and parcels, domestic and international, and they're set to take effect January 14, 2019. Prices for the domestic parcel services will increase by an overall average of 4%. And prices for the U.S. international parcel service will increase by an average of 2% for most customers. Okay, then it goes on to say here the following products are affected by changes: domestic priority, express post, express certified, so on and so forth. And you can read the rest of this here. Like I said again, I know that's a given. They said they were going to do that, so I'm not surprised by that. But I just thought I'd share it with you guys. And last but not least, this is the EKG. I love the EKGs because they tell a little cryptic here about what's going on, the issues. And if you want to report an issue, which is on the same website here, you just go to EKG site and just say report the issue. You can put it on. This one came out yesterday, January 2019, 2nd here. eBay charged an extra $10,000 on my monthly invoice. Wow. Anyway, data for 12/31/18, the past 12 months, all 4 to 500. No new listings or subscriptions or high sales reported to eBay. They say they cannot fix yet, but don't worry about the extra $10K in fees. Wow. And suggested someone has hacked my account to put the cash in eBay's pocket. Not likely. They said. Then it goes on to say they say they will have to wait and dispute the erroneous charges before they attempt to take $10K from me on January 15th. Right. No help so far. No admission and any IT issues. Plenty of excuses. And this is the person who wrote it. Whatever. I'm not going to read all of these here. Let's just see here really quick. You can read the rest of these here. I know there's only a couple. Well, there's quite a few of them here. Okay, I didn't realize. All right, there was enough here, but you can finish the rest of this here, folks. They really are good. The EKG, e-commerce EKG, is really good. These are from sellers like you and I. We'll post on here. You can report an issue, and if you got something you want to share, check it out. I'm going to end this video, and here, let me just take care. I'm going to bump out of this screen right here. Well, there you have it, folks. That's what's going on in the eBay world. I don't know how you guys are doing out there. If anybody wants to expand on any of these topics, please do share it with us because I like to hear what you have to say. Anyway, take care, guys. I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.